Last week's video, we had just gotten into Greensboro, Georgia. We got set up and we went and visited the Uncle Remus Museum. He's kind of famous for the Briar Rabbit character in the book series. If you haven't watched it, go back and check it out. We begin this week's video at Lake Oconee in Greensboro, Georgia. The Georgia Butts Barbecue Restaurant became our go-to place for the breakfast. We did some lunches and dinners there as well, but we used this place to decide what we were going to do for the day and what adventure we were going to look for. Today we set our sights on Stone Mountain, which is located in DeKalb, Georgia, not too far from Atlanta. The mountain is the world's largest single piece of exposed granite. It's estimated to weigh over 1 trillion tons and covers 583 acres.
How long is the ride? Is it like 5 minutes, 3 minutes? 2.5. Okay.
Did you say 2.5?
Yeah.
Wow. Should we go ahead and jump in?
Well, you can walk on if you want.
Stone Mountain was once owned by the Venable brothers as a memorial to the Confederacy. The Stone Mountain Park officially opened in April 14th of 1965.
You can hike it on our Cherokee Trail, or on the weekends you can take the train. Now coming into view is the largest relief carving.
What'd you call it?
It's a relief carving. And the center, the carving itself is 90 feet by 190 feet. It goes into the mountain 42 feet. That chipped out portion around it is equivalent to 3 acres. They drained our little pond down here, but that's the size and shape of the carving on the wall. Kind of gives you a little perspective of how big it is. If you look at that center figure and his horse, that's like looking at a 9-story building. You can put 2 full-size school buses on the back of that center horse. And if you look at this center figure again and look at that shoulder sticking out there, there is a photograph of 12 carvers sitting on that shoulder having dinner. Now it took them 49 years to complete this carving, but 30 of those years it stood idle due to lack of funding. We had 3 master carvers here. The first one was a Mr. Borglum. He started this carving in 1923, but he had a little dispute with the locals on the finance, and he left and he went to South Dakota and he carved Mount Rushmore. This carving is 30 feet larger. As we come over the hill, you might want to hang on to something because we are going to swing a little bit. Now when he left here, Mr. Borglum, he destroyed everything, and the locals thought that that was their part.
The Confederate memorial carving depicts 3 Southern heroes of the Civil War: Confederate President Jefferson Davis, Generals Robert E. Lee, and Thomas Stonewall Jackson. The figures measure 90 feet by 190 feet, surrounded by a carved surface that covers approximately 3 acres. The carving is recessed 42 feet into the mountain. Work on the carving began in 1915 and was completed in 1972. We took the Sky Ride aerial tram, but the summit can be reached by a walk-up trail on the west side. The top of the mountain is a landscape of bare rock and rock pools that collect the water from the rain. The clear freshwater pools on the summit, formed by the rain, are home to clam shrimp and fairy shrimp. The tiny shrimp are only visible during the rainy season. Stone Mountain Park officially opened on April 14th, 1965. At the base of the mountain where the tram comes back in, there is a large amphitheater set up to have outdoor events. It looks like it can hold thousands of people. Along with the Stone Mountain and the Granite Mountain itself, there are over 3,200 acres of natural beauty just outside and around the base of the mountain. Numerous outdoor activities are available year-round. There are over 15 miles of hiking trails, including one that is a 1-mile hiking trail to the summit of the mountain. There's also a 363-acre lake, and there is a train that you can schedule, and it goes all the way around the base of the mountain. There's also a covered bridge located on the mountain's east side. It connects the Indian Island in Stone Mountain Lake to the mainland at the Robert E. Lee Boulevard roundabout near the grist mill. The covered bridge is only about a quarter of a mile past the grist mill. Granite quarrying started at Stone Mountain in the 1830s, but became a major industry following the completion of the railroad spur to the quarry site in 1847. This line was built by the Georgia Railroad in 1869. Over the years, Stone Mountain was used in many buildings and structures, including locks at the Panama Canal, the East Wing of the United States Capitol, the Imperial Hotel in Tokyo, and several banks around the country. There's a large granite marker depicting where a lot of the granite went to around the world. Of course, we had to look up Ohio. starting to get late, and we were a little hungry. We found a 5-star restaurant at the golf course on the other side of the lake from the mountain, so we headed out to go find it. It was called the Stone Mountain Golf Course. It was about 4 o'clock, a little early for dinner. We were the only ones there, and the centerpiece of the seating area was this big fireplace. I went over to take a picture of it. And while we waited for our dinner, Mark and I ran over, and Cheryl took our picture. From out on the deck of the restaurant, we got a few more good shots of Stone Mountain from across the lake. I think we're going to wrap this video up right here. We're going to head back to the campground and have a fire tonight.
It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. Sometimes you need to go, take a step back to see the truth of